I'm the guy with two first names. I own and operate a company out here in San Diego, California called Chris Zach Interact. So I'm actually not a real estate agent. I've been helping real estate agents since 2007, really with their business online. So I've been teaching in the Real Academy for, we're going on actually about 7 years. So it's been really fun. I think there was only 1,000 agents with Real when I first started teaching. So really excited to be with you guys here today. A little bit about me, just so you guys have some context. As I mentioned, I teach 2 classes every month. The first one is Facebook Ads 101, which you are attending here today. This is a great starting class. I also teach Facebook Ads 201. So after today, make sure to join in a couple weeks as we go over Facebook Ads 201, and we dive into some more advanced kind of best practices and really just a continuation of this. A little bit about me. So as I mentioned, I own and operate a company here in San Diego. Name of my company is Chris Zach Interact. So we help agents a lot with Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads. And then we also really help a lot of agents integrating technology into their business. So if you've got a CRM like Lofty, maybe you've got Follow Up Boss, maybe you've got 7 different systems and none of them talk. That's part of what our company does, is we love helping agents really integrate everything so everything's seamless. So if there's anything we can do to help you, please let me know. I always also include that QR code there. If you're already running Facebook ads and you're like, Chris, can you just get in and take a look at everything that's going on within my ads manager? Feel free to schedule a free meeting with me as well. We love teaching. We love working with agents on, the Facebook side of business. So Facebook Ads 101. What is the agenda as far as just topics, and what do we actually cover in this? So we're going to get into some of the really elementary things on Facebook ads. For those of you attending, I'd love to just get your feedback. We've got everyone muted, but what's the main reason you're attending here today? Is it a specific feature you're trying to get, integrated? Is it a certain listing? Are you trying to generate, more and more, listings? Is it for buyers? I would love to know. Just feel free to send it over in chat. What's the main reason you wanted to attend here today? See if if Facebook still work for qualified listing leads. That's really, really good, Josiane. What area of the country are you located at? I'll talk a little bit about that with you.
I'm in New York and Long Island.
You're in Long Island. Beautiful. Okay. So that's a very, very small pocket, obviously, as far as like a 15-mile radius. So I'll share when we get into some of the targeting as far as like the audiences and everything. That's going to really, really play into effect. The other thing too that's kind of backwards that I have really good success with on Facebook is actually targeting buyers first. A lot of homeowners and a lot of people that are thinking of selling, they go online and they start shopping. Hey, what are homes for sale right now on Long Island? They kind of put their feelers out. So a lot of times I'll run a Facebook ad, and before they register, I ask them flat out, hey, do you have a home you also need to sell before buying? So that's a really, really good strategy as well. Just curious if you want to send it over in chat what your website is. I can get on and take a look and give you some feedback as well as we go. So really good. Anyone else? Any other specific things you're looking to get out of this training here today? All right. I've got my other monitor up here kind of monitoring chat. So if we do have any questions, feel free to let me know. So, okay. Josiane, I would recommend probably getting Lofty set up. That's offered to you at a massive discount as a real agent. I don't work for Lofty, so that's me as kind of a third party telling you. But yeah, Lofty, it's a really, really good CRM website, all of that kind of built into that. So beautiful. Yeah, they do it. I want to say they have a Friday intro call as well. That's really good. That's really good. So beautiful. So just a couple topics that we're going to cover today. I'm going to teach you guys how to create an ad actually from start to finish. Agents are always baffled when I do this training. They're like, Chris, I had no idea how easy Facebook ads were. So as I mentioned, I've been teaching this class for 6-7 years. So anytime I do, I always have agents that reach out and say, hey, Chris, can you review some of my metrics, some of my stats, all of that. So really, really powerful. But We're going to get into what you need to succeed on Facebook. We're going to talk about the different type of Facebook ads you can run. One of my favorite topics is Facebook lead forms. So we're going to talk about that strategy. We'll get into budget. We'll get into audiences. We'll get into, demographics and targeting. And then the very, very last thing that we'll do is we're going to actually create an ad for people to see. So how do you control what people are actually seeing when they get the ad or when they see the ad on Facebook? So we'll cover all of that from start to finish. So let's talk about some basic stuff. What do you need to actually succeed with Facebook ads? So the first thing is you have to have a personal Facebook account. Now, anytime I say that, agents are always like, Chris, I don't want to show pictures of my kids, my dog, my cat. You need a personal account, and actually, in order to create a business page, you cannot run ads through your personal account. It has to be from a business page or an Instagram page. So that's something that's really, really important to know. The other thing I'm going to encourage you guys to set up today, and I'll walk you through this, is what's called a Facebook business account. So business.facebook.com. Write that website down. It's free. However, a lot of agents, they want to have kind of their whole entire account set up. I'd recommend using business.facebook.com for that. Next up, do not spend a dime on Facebook ads unless you do have a website with a home search, with updated MLS. You're not going to convert leads on the internet, especially with Facebook leads, unless you do have a website. So I'll talk about the importance of that here as well in a few minutes. And then you guys are attending this today because you're actually trying to be a better marketer. So, as you just shared, you're trying to generate more listings. You're trying to think of other ways to get in front of more and more homeowners. So I love that you guys are here today. One of my favorite quotes, Wayne Gretzky quote, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Now, something I love about Facebook ads is you don't need to be a millionaire to really test Facebook ads. So I recommend starting with like a $5 a day marketing budget. That's all you really, really need to get started on the Facebook side of things. So start out really, really small. You can always, Facebook will gladly spend your money. So I always joke and say, hey, start with $5 a day. And then from there, increase your budget as you can afford it. So hopefully you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Now I'm curious, if you guys could, has anyone ever tried Facebook ads? Can you guys just give me your feedback? And I'm not naive to this. So if you've had good, bad feedback, share your feedback as far as in the chat, if you've had good or bad results with Facebook ads. Yes, but wasn't great. All right. Anyone else? In real, I know you're streaming this as well, so let me know if there's any other questions that I don't see coming through. But yeah, a lot of agents, they haven't had success with Facebook, and I'm going to really get to the meat and potatoes of that. I'm a really kind of different when it comes to marketing. I always tell agents to really take a good look at what your current setup is and everything before you do start spending a dime. So we'll get into that, but what you're going to need to do first, starting with really, really basics. Step one, you need to create a business manager. And so if you don't have a business manager yet, it's free. It takes about 3 minutes to set up. But what you're going to need to do is go to business.facebook.com. Now, if when you visit this website, it looks differently than what's on your screen, that's okay. If you've already created or you started to create a Facebook business account, you should see probably the name of your company or something that pops up right there. But otherwise, what I want you guys to do is create a business manager. You'll have to put in your credit card information. It's free to set it up. However, they need a credit card on file. So when you do start running ads, they can actually process billing for it. Put in your name, email address, phone number, your website. You don't need to enter in all your tax ID information and stuff unless you're an agency like we are. But take 3-4 minutes to set it up. So assuming you guys all have your business manager set up, and something that's really important for you guys to know, I've worked with a lot of clients that have multiple businesses. They've got real estate, they do property management, maybe title, escrow, mortgage. You only need one business manager for all of your businesses. The other thing is you can basically manage your entire business on the business manager. So if you have multiple ad accounts, you have multiple people that work for you, maybe you've got 5 or 6 different Facebook pages, you only need one business manager to basically control all of it. So that's really important. So Josiane, I'm going to pick on you a little bit here. But I always find agents, when they don't have success, typically it's for a few different reasons. One, a lot of times with Facebook, it's nature of the beast, right? But you've got to think about who your audience is and who you are marketing to before you spend a single dollar. So before we run any ads, we always do an initial consultation with our clients. And one question I always ask is, who is your audience? Who are you going after? So Josiane, you're trying to target and go after homeowners. So right now in your market, who is your audience? My guess is you've got probably a mixed bag, and I want you to correct me here if I'm wrong. You've probably got a mixed bag of a lot of people who are renting right now. You probably have a mixed bag of people that are relocating from either another part of New York, maybe another part of the area. Some people are upgrading, downgrading. I just listed off like 4 or 5 different audiences and 4 or 5 different people. But talk to me a little bit about as far as who that audience is in regards to just, those people who are homeowners. Who are those typically right now in your market, Josiane?
I would say it's probably people that have owned their home for, 10 plus years, have paid down quite a bit of their mortgage, have good equity, but are afraid to sell because they don't have any place to go. And the market is a little crazy for them as buyers.
Yeah, so that's really good. So one big thing you just said is you probably were showing your ads to a bunch of people who are renters. You're wasting your budget with people like that, right? So the first thing I might do if I were you, if I'm thinking about going after homeowners, is maybe do research. See if you can get a list of who those homeowners are. People who have invested, X amount, they have X number of, equity in their home. I would really go after something like that to start. So that way, the only people that are actually seeing your ads are homeowners. That would be the big first thing I would go after. Now, one thing you didn't say is, Chris, I'll work with anyone if they have a home. You're looking for a very specific person. So the messaging in your ads, it all needs to reflect that. The more and more specific that you get, though, as well, think about the cost per acquisition or your cost per lead. So that's really, really important. I'm out here in San Diego, California. So we've got military relocation. We got people coming here from all over the world, military bases all over the country as well. We have a lot of people who are first-time home buyers. The community and area that I live in, it's a lot of families. Then you've got your downtown market. You've got people who want to live in a high-rise condo. Then you've got your luxury market. You got people that live in La Jolla, Coronado. They're looking at, $1.5 to $3 million homes. So I just named off, 5 or 6 different audiences. So if I'm a realtor in San Diego, I'm not going to do one ad trying to target all of those people. I'm going to have one specific ad, one specific message going after exactly who they are. Because now I'm hunting a little bit more with a sniper rifle. The other thing too is you need to think about where they're going to go next. So right now you don't have a website, but if I were you, Josiane, what I would recommend you do, have a page on your website that says, have a ton of equity in your home and you're thinking about selling, and maybe a little video of you talking about, hey, I work with homeowners who typically have X number of equity, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you want to take them to a tool like Zillow that, what's my home worth? Hey, if you're thinking of selling and you want a computer generated value in 30 seconds, click this link. You could go to a landing page where it says, hey, if you're a homeowner, here are the 3 options that you have. But think about where they're going to go once they register. That's a really, really important piece. I always bring this up when you think about, you're buying something on e-commerce. So Josiane, let me just, kind of play along here. But let's say you're on Instagram tonight and you click on a pair of leggings and you're like, oh, I want to buy this pair of leggings. But instead of going to, Lululemon's website, what if you went to like Target.com and it was a link for like cat food? You'd kind of be like, where are they sending me? A lot of times, and this is a really exaggerated example, but A lot of times real estate agents, they don't think about where people are going to go next. Just, hey, you're sending me to your website. Where am I supposed to click now? Where am I supposed to go? You have to think about it from a user experience. That's really, really important. And then I think the other thing too that's really important is, what do the graphics say? What does the verbiage say? Are you creating a little bit of pain in your messaging? You know, hey, are you tired of renting? Or if you're going after the homeowner side of things, you know, if you're thinking of selling right now, average day on the market is this, average price is this. What type of verbiage, graphics, what's the message saying if you're talking specifically to those people? So a lot of things to consider. Most important piece, and this is where I think a lot of the wheels fall off for a lot of agents. They do not have a follow-up plan in place. Or if they do, they call the lead 1 or 2 times and they're like, Chris, these Facebook leads, they never answer. Okay, that might be the case for, you know, the first 2 calls. But what type of follow-up plan do you have in place? So as I mentioned, Lofty, that's a really good CRM. But do you have messaging going out? If I register and I'm a homeowner, over the next 6 months, are you just talking about selling? Hey, here's a recent home I just recently sold. They listed with another agent and it was over list. You know, they basically butchered the price and it stayed on the market. Pricing matters. If you're curious what your home could be priced for and what we recommend doing in today's market, click the link below. Do you have that type of messaging? Follow up, follow up, follow up. So you guys can tell I nerd out on this stuff. I've been doing this since 2007 on the real estate side. This is so important. I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to know your audience, who you're really going after. You're going to have to think about what graphics, what that looks like in the verbiage, and then make sure you have a follow-up plan in place. And if we can help you with any of that, guys, as I mentioned, please let me know. But I beg you, before you spend a dime on ads, please make sure you have these 4 things. You know, take a screenshot of this page. Make sure that you have all of this really dialed in before you spend a dime. So that's my little soapbox here for today, guys. But any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, anything? Is that resonating a little bit with you, Josiane? Do you have kind of hopefully a light bulb moment or 2 of, okay, this is the type of ad that I want to run?
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. And one other thing too, I'm throwing out a lot of different ideas, but you know, jump on ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using. Hey, I'm trying to target homeowners in Long Island. You know, what should my ad say if this is who I'm targeting? In face, you know, a lot of those AI, they'll spit out really good ideas for you, or exact verbiage, what to say, what to avoid. So leverage that tech as well, while you're creating those ads. So, all right, so that's really, really important. Let's talk now about like what type of actually Facebook ads can you run? So what are the different kind of ads that you can be running in real estate? So if you go ahead and click on create a new ad here, you're going to click this little green button. You'll actually start creating and building an ad. So assuming everyone has done, I'm going to send this over in chat right now as well. Business.facebook.com is going to be first. The next up is going to be ads.facebook.com. Or if you're logged into your business manager, you should see there's a link directly to your ads manager. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So I'm going to hit the green button for create. Now, when Facebook's always changing this, so if you're watching this replay, it might be completely different the way that I'm kind of talking about it today. But what you're going to want to do next is what's called a manual campaign. If you really want to follow along step by step today, do manual campaign. Trust me, it's like 20 seconds longer than doing it the way Facebook was trying to force you to. But we're going to hit manual campaign. And then one of the first things that we need to do is we need to select housing category. So before you create an ad, you do have to say, hey, I'm in real estate. You know, these are housing related ads. Don't try and outsmart Facebook. They will flag your account. They'll get your account shut down. The other thing too is if you've ever had an ad rejected, like you've tried to run an ad before and it didn't work, this is probably why. So use the housing category. All right. And then these are all of the different options that you have on your screen. So the first one is sales. If you've ever bought anything off of Instagram or Facebook, I recently bought a sweatshirt off of Instagram. That was a sales ad. What does that mean? You're on Facebook, you're on your phone, you're scrolling through, all of a sudden you see that ad, and then boom, I click on it. Now I'm on their website and I'm buying something. We don't do sales ads in real estate. That's more on the e-commerce side. So the next campaign objective or the other type of ad that you can do is leads. If you're taking notes, this is my numero uno. This is my number one ad that I run. I would say 90% of the ads that we as a company create are Facebook lead ads. I'll show you why here in a couple minutes, but basically you're getting contact info directly from Facebook and then bringing them to your website. So Facebook lead forms. When they introduced this to the real estate industry, it was a game changer. Next, other ad that you can do is what's called engagement. Engagement's really, really good. Think of an engagement ad as basically you're trying to get, group participation. So this is a great way for you to get people just seeing your ad. This is a good way for you to get more eyeballs on your video. If you're trying to get more Facebook likes or, maybe you're running an event, first time home buyer seminar or something like that, engagement ads do well. It's not my first priority of ads, but it is an ad that we do run from time to time. Next up is app promotions. My kids, when they're on their computers, they're on their laptop or, their tablet. Hey, download this game. That's an app promotion. Download this app, download this game. We don't want to run a lot of those ads in real estate either. But I know some real estate agents, they have developed an app, so I always mention it. Next up, ad number 2, my favorite, I would say second favorite ad is what's called the traffic ad. Traffic ads, that's pay-per-click. That's what Google's been doing for years. That's what Zillow pays thousands or millions of dollars a month, spending money on traffic. So think of traffic as you're a traffic cop. So right now, I'm on Facebook. Oh, look, that's really cool. It looks like Chris had steak last night for dinner. They stop, they see your ad, and they're interested, and you're like, hey, stop searching on Facebook. I now want to take you back to my website. So a traffic ad, what it'll do is it'll actually take them off of Facebook and bring them to your website. So this is really good for link clicks. We run a lot of these ads as well for retargeting, but traffic ads, they do really well. Last ad type is what's called awareness. Those old school agents that are listening, think of this as a digital billboard. Awareness is not necessarily going after maybe your audience number one. Awareness is more of top of mind type of marketing. So if you've ever done bench ads, you've ever done, grocery cart ads, billboards, think of awareness ads as basically a digital form of that. So this is more for branding, kind of building your brand awareness. You can also get some good video views. I only run awareness ads for agents that are maybe brand new to a market. Or I've got some big clients that are like, Chris, I want to be that agent who's everywhere. I want people to see my name and my face everywhere. Do an awareness ad. Any questions at all before I move on? How's my pace here today, guys? I had a couple cups of coffee. But any questions, comments, concerns so far? Alrighty. I've got everyone muted, so if you do have questions, please send them over in chat for me, guys. All right, perfect. So let's next talk about Facebook lead forms. So Facebook lead forms, as I mentioned, this is my favorite type of ad that I run. So Facebook lead forms, how that works and how that functions is you're basically getting consumers to register on Facebook. So what happens is consumers, they're online, they see your ad, and so right here, you'll notice it says learn more. They click on learn more, and when they click on learn more, what it actually does is it auto-populates their contact information. And so what's really powerful about that is it will auto-populate their name, email address, and phone number automatically for you. So really, really powerful. The good news, bad news with this. The good news is it auto-populates their contact info. The bad news is sometimes people have an old phone number. They have an old email address they registered on Facebook with. So keep that in mind as well, guys, when you are running these type of ads. I would say 90% to 95% of accuracy is what most of my clients say. Are you going to get some fake phone numbers, fake email addresses? Yes. Are they fake and people intentionally leaving fake info? A lot of the times, no. What typically we see is it's just, hey, Chris, when I created my Facebook account, I was still in college, so it's my college email address. That's typically the case, but it obviously does happen where some consumers, it's an old phone number or an old email address. So really important to know that. The thing I like to exaggerate is, so my kids always make fun of me. They say I have Wreck-It Ralph hands, kind of Shrek fingers. If I went to a website, I could manually type in my name. I could manually type in my phone number. I could manually type in my email address, right? I could do all of those things. So when I auto-populate their info, you're going to get more lead volume. You're going to get a lot more leads because internet users are lazy. So they click learn more, they review their contact information, and then there's a privacy policy. And then what they have to do is they have to hit view home now, or, view the list of properties, or, get my free homes value, whatever it is. So really, really important to just kind of understand. A lot of times agents, when I do this training, I always ask, hey, what's been your feedback? A lot of times agents will say, Chris, I had a lot of fake phone numbers, a lot of fake, email addresses. Facebook, they've heard that feedback. So just kind of as a bonus here today, they do have a new SMS verification. So when someone tries to register, it actually has to text them. They have to acknowledge that text, put in a code. So that's a really, really good thing that they've done lately. The other thing is you can make these optional or required. And you can also make people actually have to fill it out, whereas auto populate. So if you're one of those agents who's like, Chris, I've had a really bad experience with a lot of fake info, just know that Facebook listened to us, and this is a good kind of a workaround. So any questions on that? Has anyone ever done Facebook lead forms? Any other questions at all in chat? I'm just making sure here. I think I've answered all the questions, but Real, if you could let me know if I missed any other questions from the live. Otherwise, I think I'm caught up here. So Facebook lead forms, this is my number one. This is still my preference, where I really, really strongly recommend you guys do. Couple other options. You can do Facebook messages. So we have some clients, they say, hey, Chris, I hate cold calling. I hate reaching out to leads. All of that's really, really important. So if you don't want to cold call, what you have the ability to do is you could, instead of someone giving you their contact information, instead, when they click learn more here, they can actually send you a message. So that is an option. And so I recommend this if you're someone who hates cold calling, you're always on Facebook or you're always on Instagram and you're okay with just getting, messages directly. Speed to lead with this method is very, very important though. Do not do this method unless you are always on your phone, which most of us are. However, speed to lead with Facebook and Instagram messages really, really matter. All right. Next up, let's get into kind of part two. So I break this typically into 3 different parts. So the first one, and just to kind of recap here, guys, you want to set up your business manager. Once you have your business manager set up, I would encourage you guys to choose what type of an ad that you want to run. I would encourage you to either do a Facebook lead ad or a Facebook traffic ad. Those are my 2 I'd strongly recommend. Now, the second part of this is we got to choose our budget, we got to choose our audience, and then we also have to choose our demographic. So let's get into that. So let's talk first up, money. So Facebook, they have 2 different options for the budget side of things. So they have what's called lifetime budget. Pretty self-explanatory here, but what lifetime budget is, hey, Facebook, I've got $200 to spend this month, and I want you basically to spread that out over the next month for me. So they will gladly spend your money, but what they will do is they will spread your budget out, guys, where they're going to make sure, they want you to keep spending money with them. The other thing I like about lifetime budgets is lifetime budgets also allow you to run ads on a schedule. So maybe you're a part-time agent, maybe you're an agent who has an assistant, maybe you're an agent who, hey, Chris, I love calling leads, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You could run ads specifically during that time and that day. So also really, really important. Good information there. The other option you have with budgets is daily budget. Set it and forget it, right? Hey, I want to spend $5 a day. This is, my budget. I would recommend no less than $5 a day. $5 a day, and I'd recommend running that ad for a minimum of 7 days. I do ads for 4 days though for open houses. So if you have an open house, that's probably the exception to the rule, I would say. But otherwise, I would encourage you guys to spend $30, $35 on an ad. Let that ad run, and just know that you can always increase or decrease your budget. So if an ad's doing really, really well, you can say, hey, let's turn it up to $10 a month. You can turn it on and off like a faucet as well. Facebook ads, they work really, really well with just the daily budget approach. For scheduling, I always get agents that ask questions, is there a good time of day to run ads? Truth of the matter is people are always on Facebook and Instagram. I would say Monday, Tuesdays, we see our lowest conversion, but otherwise every single day of the week, we run ads 7 days a week for our clients. People are always on social media. So they're on all day, every single day. So it's really more the question of what's your budget. And then also, hey, are you available if you get a lead at, 8 p.m.? Realistically, are you going to try and call that lead? If not, set your leads up on a schedule to make sure you only call them at those certain times or those certain days. So, any other questions? All right. Next up, let's talk audiences. So this top section is custom audiences. We're not going to cover that today. We will cover that on our Facebook Ads 201 class. So we're going to talk more about like location, and we'll get into some of the other audiences that they do. Let me just make sure. I got a question here in chat. Yeah, minimum budget is $5 a day. Yeah. All righty. So location. Minimum you can do for location is a 15-mile radius. So I know in New York City, 15 miles is, probably 5 different states for you guys. 15-mile radius is the smallest radius that Facebook allows, though. What I would encourage you to do is you can type in an address. So it's like an exact address. Otherwise, just choose like the city in a 15-mile radius. The other thing is you can, if you're in an area not like New York City, like I'm here in San Diego, you might run an ad with a 30, 50-mile radius. What I would encourage you to do the very first time you run an ad, and obviously you guys got to know your area better than I do, but what I would probably do and what I do for most of our clients is start between 30 and 50-mile radius. 30 and 50-mile radius. You'll notice here on my screen, I've got a couple different, cities, a couple different, states that I'm targeting in. I would not recommend this strategy. I'm showing this just for training purposes, but you'll notice if I wanted to, like right now, actually, we just launched an ad for our client in South Denver, and he's targeting people in like 3 or 4 different states with a relocation ad. So, hey, relocating to South Denver, and we're showing that ad in Seattle, Los Angeles, Dallas, Phoenix, Chicago, New York City. So if it's an ad for relocation, just you could combine multiple areas. But as I mentioned, start probably with one area, and then I would slowly add areas in. So that way you know just where the results are most coming from. All right, next up is the demographics. So you want to know, you go to a good restaurant and you're like, man, I love the barbecue here. You love the way the barbecue sauce taste. This is my secret sauce right here, guys. This is why agents pay me the big bucks. This is why we've been in business, is because we've gotten really good at this. You want to get really, really good at Facebook ads? Get really good at this right here on your screen. So what you're going to notice is you have the ability to target people who have recently been on Zillow. So, hey, Facebook, I want you to show this ad to anyone who's in New York City, who's within a 15-mile radius, who has recently been to Zillow.com. You could do that right here. You could also say Trulia. So you'll notice, guys, all of these different options that pop up. Do you know when you go on Amazon and then you shop for that black pair of shoes, and then all of a sudden those shoes start following you around the internet? That's because of this screen right here that we are on right here. This is really, really important for you guys to understand. The other thing too is you can combine and you can do multiple of these different demographics. I'd recommend probably starting with 2. So to keep this really, really simple, and I told you guys earlier, this is way easier than agents make it. Choose Zillow and Trulia. Start there. That's all I would recommend you do. Start there. And then you can obviously combine multiple things. For you targeting, Josiane, for you targeting homeowners, what I would encourage you to do is type in homeowners here. You'll see homeowners association. I have some clients that are like, Chris, I want to target people who, like Home Depot. If you're going to Home Depot, you probably own a home. So I have a lot of agents that get creative, but you'll notice on my screen here, you've got first-time home buyer, you've got people who are using a mortgage calculator. You can get really, really specific, but you can also keep it pretty broad. When I first started doing Facebook ads, I had to do probably 7 or 8 different demographics. Facebook has gotten so good where realistically, I can just do these 2 demographics for a new ad, and it does well right out of the gate. So really, really important, guys, to just understand this is the secret sauce. This is literally the recipe I'm giving you. Don't overcomplicate it. All right, last thing, you can choose platform. So Facebook, they're owned by a company called Meta. Meta owns Facebook, they own Instagram, they own WhatsApp, they own a couple other companies. But what you have the ability to do is you can show your ads to specific people. What I would encourage you guys to do is only show these ads on Facebook and Instagram. You'll notice that there's something here called Audience Network. That's a really fancy way of saying, okay, ESPN.com, NewYorkTimes.com, ChicagoTribune.com. Facebook has ads on millions and millions of websites. You'll notice on a lot of websites that you go to, you see those little ads on the right and the left and the top of the site. Believe it or not, those are probably Facebook ads that you're seeing. What I would encourage you to do, though, is just show your ads on Facebook and Instagram. And so you'll notice here you can uncheck or check where to show these ads. The other thing, too, as I mentioned earlier, guys, know your audience. Facebook is a older demographic. I would say between the ages of, let's say, 22 all the way up to 100. Everyone's mom's mom is on Facebook, on Instagram. But it's really, really important to know kind of the demographic. Instagram, that's a younger demographic. So I would say age 15 all the way up to 45. Now, if you're 46 and you're offended by that, I'm sorry. But Instagram's typically a younger demographic. So if you're working with first-time home buyers, maybe you only want to show your ad on Instagram. If you are in a kind of a destination market, you're in a retirement community, only show your ads on Facebook. So know your audience. This is a good way for you to not waste your money. Any questions on demographics, budget, any of the best practices I've covered here so far? Let me check the other chat. All righty, guys. You guys are making it easy for me today. So, recap. First step, you got to create Business Manager, then you got to choose what type of ad. I want to run a Facebook lead generation ad. Next step, you got to choose your budget. Hey, I want to spend $5 a day, show this to people in New York City who have recently been on Zillow, and on Trulia. The very last step, okay, this is what type of ad do you visually want to see? So this is actually what the general public actually sees. Facebook and Instagram, they give us a couple different options as far as this. So let's go over those different options. First one, you've got a single image. You'll notice we have 3 different ad types or graphic types here on your screen. Single image, you have this, which is really good for desktop. You've got this middle one, which is really good for Facebook stories and Instagram stories and reels. And then you've got this one on the far right, the square image. That's really good for people on mobile. Just so you guys know, 90% of the traffic is going to come from these two. 90% of Facebook and Instagram's traffic is people on their cell phone or a tablet. I am on my computer right now and I'm on Facebook. So that's where this ad would pop up. But just know your audience. You guys will notice, I want you to pay attention. You're going to see some really bad marketers here in the next couple of days. You're going to see people that have Facebook ads and like the whole graphics cut off because they're not setting their ads up. So make sure visually what your ad looks like. Another option is you can do what's called carousel ad. Carousel is a collection of images or photos, and you can do a minimum of 2 all the way up to 10. You can do a mix of photo, you can do a mix of video, or you can do a blend of the both. So carousel, they get a lot of people that click on them. Now, on this little slideshow here, it's automatically going, but consumers, they actually have to swipe their finger to go to the next graphic or the next link. But it's really, really important to know how carousel works. What I would encourage you to do with carousel, this is really, really good for if you're trying to sell like a specific house. So you'll notice maybe the front of the house is, the first slide. The second slide is maybe the pool or the backyard. The third slide, maybe that's the kitchen. The fourth one is maybe the bedroom. So carousel allows you to display multiple images. You guys will notice this is a square image. It has to be a square format for carousel. Next up, video. Video. I am really, really still big on video. Video works. Here's the thing I get nervous about with video. Agents tend to give away the farm. They tend to do show too much. So on a video for a property, I would keep it, if you're running it for an ad, I would keep it really short and sweet. So a good example here. Hey, this is Chris. Right now I'm in my new listing here in Rancho Penasquitas. Check out this backyard. And I'm kind of turning around, showing people the backyard. Hey, if you want more information on this new listing or if you want to tour it, click the link below. I hope you're having a great day. Something short and sweet like that. The video has to be under 59 seconds though. In order to run an ad, it has to be under 59 seconds. You'll notice I also put here, don't give away all of the details, dangle the carrot. You want them to go to your website. You want them to, inquire about this property, but at the same time, you want to get them to your website so they can not only look at this house, but every other house that you have as well, for sale right now. Every house that's on the MLS. Video. We do all video editing and graphic design for all of our clients. But if you are, hey, Chris, I want to do it myself, 2 apps I'd recommend. Canva. Most of you have hopefully heard of Canva by now. Canva has thousands of real estate templates. They have thousands of different, variations and everything that you can use. Canva makes it really easy to create these graphics. That graphic you guys were looking at, I have a graphic designer. I'm not a graphic designer, but he uses Canva for some of our stuff. And then we also have Photoshop or Illustrator. I don't know how many different apps he uses at this point, but Canva's a really, really simple one for most agents. Then for video, especially for social media, CapCut. They're actually owned by TikTok. CapCut, I'm a big fan of. They have some really cool tools, some cool AI features as well. So it'll automatically put closed captioning or words, on your videos. It'll edit your video automatically. So CapCut's really, really good for the video editing side of things. Any questions at all, guys? Otherwise, we're almost done here. Check in chat. All righty. So last thing is we need to actually write this ad. So visually, we've got a graphic or a video in mind. Now let's start writing an ad. So first thing we need to do, we need to write a headline. All right. So the headline is going to be obviously the very first thing consumers see. So headline is going to go below the graphic, 7 or 8 words, and I recommend you use emojis. Okay. Primary text, that's above the image. That should be 2 to 3 sentences max. And I encourage you to use emojis and have a call to action. The last thing is what's called a description. Description is going to go right below the headline, and that's the very last thing people see. For anyone taking notes, take a screenshot of this. Writing a headline. This is an example of kind of some ad copy that we write and that we would recommend using. Use ChatGPT, use Claude, use AI, but this should give you guys a good kind of a foundation. Think of this as more of like a template to build around, not copy and paste and use this exact same thing. So for the headline, 7 or 8 words max. Use emojis. Now, I'm in San Diego, so if I was having an ad that said golf course properties for sale, hopefully I'm not showing that ad to people in another state. So pay attention, as I mentioned, if you are running an ad for something very specific or area specific, make sure that that's either in your headline, or if it's not, make sure that you're not advertising outside of the area. Same thing with, oceanfront condos, but a really generic, good headline, search all San Diego homes. Okay, that's self-explanatory what I'm getting. Just listed home in San Diego. Really common mistake I see agents make. You guys, a lot of times with like new builds, you'll have like this brand new community that like people who have lived in the community 50 years have never heard of. You guys start name dropping these communities in really small subdivisions. So know your audience. If you're like, Chris, everyone knows the city of Rancho Penasquitos. Perfect. I live in Park Village, which is in Rancho Penasquitos. Now, people that have lived in San Diego their whole life, I might name drop Park Village and they're like, where's that? If I say Rancho Penasquitos, people are like, oh, okay. You live by Miramar. Got it. So know that when you're writing a headline. Now, as far as the primary text right here, gorgeous. So I always reiterate the headline, the first sentence. Just listed home in Rancho Penasquito, San Diego, California. The next sentence, that's where you want, if it's for a listing, you want to show a little bit of a description on that specific property. Gorgeous 3-bed, 3.5 bath, home priced at this, located in a cul-de-sac in the award-winning Poway school district. Add a little bit to it. You don't want to just copy and paste the entire MLS description, so you do want to keep it a little more short and sweet. One of the most important things on an ad, though, is at the very, very bottom, you're going to go ahead and tell people what they need to do. Click learn more. You want to tell people, same way that ET, when he went and just started picking up the little Reese's Pieces, internet users, they're so quick to go to the next ad or the next post. So if you tell people, hey, stop, I need you to click learn more and you can look at this property. I want you to click learn more to see what your home is worth. So you got to tell people and have that call to action at the end. If you don't, you'll get a lot of people that will not click your ad. And like I said, it's because this day and age, people are so quick to just jump to the next ad. So if you tell people, hey, stop, click learn more right now, tap learn more, tell people what they need to be doing. So this is just an example of, kind of a completed ad. Tried to blow it up a little bit for you guys so you guys could read it a little bit better. All right, and then you'll notice that you'll have to choose also what's called the call to action button. The call to action button, they've got about 18 or 19 different options. What I would encourage you guys to do, though, is I would use learn more. Otherwise, we've got a few favorites that we recommend. So our company, Chris Zach Interact, learn more, download now, get access. Those are the 3 I use the most. So as I mentioned on the previous screen, click learn more, or hey, click download now or get access. Download now, those do really good for like buyer and seller guides. want a free list of open houses this weekend, download the list now. Get access to this exclusive list of properties before they hit the MLS, blah, blah, blah. So you have to have a call to action button. And then the very last thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to tell Facebook, hey, once they do register, where am I going to take them? You'll notice here I put it in caps locked. Do not take people to your homepage or your website. If I just registered for 126 Main Street, the next thing I better see better be 126 Main Street. People aren't going to remember, oh, that address was 127 Johnson Street, Unit 4AB. They're not going to remember it. You need to take them and save them a click. If you do not save them a click, the same way when you're shopping on Amazon, if you click on that vacuum, the next thing you better see is that vacuum. This is an easy way to lose people, though. A lot of agents, they get this part wrong. If you do have Lofty, create a landing page. Lofty makes it really easy to create a landing page in like 20 seconds. And as I mentioned, guys, if we can help you with any of this stuff, please let me know. Then you're going to publish this ad. The very first time that you do, that ad should go live pretty quickly. If your ad gets rejected, my guess is you did not have the housing category selected, which was, one of the first things that we went over here today. But otherwise, I would encourage you guys to start with, $5 a day. Start really, really, really simple. You do not need to be a millionaire, as I mentioned, to run Facebook ads, but start small and then kind of scale up from there. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. As always, if there's anything I can do to help, if you've already been running ads and you're like, Chris, can you audit my ads? I want to see how I'm doing. Feel free to scan that QR code at the top, and you can actually get scheduled right into my calendar. We post on social media a couple times a week. We only work in real estate. Real estate marketing is our bread and butter. So we're always sharing different best practices, things that we're testing, new features that Meta comes out with. And then the last thing, if you enjoy my teaching style, guys, join my Facebook Ads 201 class that's in the Real Academy. I teach the first and the third Thursday of every month. But if you enjoy my teaching style, I do send out a newsletter twice a month. It's not spam. It'll take you 20 seconds to read our emails. But a lot of agents, they're like, Chris, I enjoy your teaching style. Can we, is there somewhere we can sign up for a newsletter? If you do sign up for our newsletter, we're going to send you an email. You have to confirm your email. So just make sure, click that link. And actually, we just sent out our newsletter this week. So this morning. But as always, guys, if there's any other questions, Chris, can I get the training replay? Send your email address over in chat. Or if you do want the training replay, you can shoot me an email or visit my website. Once again, guys, I really appreciate you guys hopping on here, and hopefully you found this helpful. I'm going to hang out for a few minutes and answer any questions. But otherwise, guys, I appreciate you hopping on. If you celebrate it, happy Easter to you guys. And really, really appreciate you guys signing on here. So you share the link. I'm on my phone. Yep, not a problem at all. Pulling it up here real quick for you. I just sent it over in chat here. And you should be able to just choose the time that works for you, and you'll get scheduled right into my calendar. So hopefully that helps, Josie. Any other questions at all, guys? I'm going to hang out here for a minute or two and answer any questions.